This is Donny Jackson, editor of IWC's Urgent Communications, and today we're at PSCR stakeholder meeting in lovely San Diego, and I'm talking with Robin Grier of Catalyst. Robin, thanks for taking the time to speak with us.
Donny, glad to do it.
So Robin, a lot of cool broadband stuff out there, and but there's this huge LMR narrowband capability that people have been using, and everybody wants to know, how can I get them to talk together?
That's right.
How do you do it?
That's the challenge that we have today as a nation, of how do we connect LMR and LTE, and specifically the standards compliant mission critical communications as defined by the third generation partnership that has been specified by Congress that we use as first responders across the country. So Catalyst has been funded first by Department of Homeland Security and now by PSCR to develop solutions to connect these different push-to-talk radio solutions together, LMR to MCPTT. Let me show you what we've got here in this demonstration here at the stakeholders meeting for PSCR. So the solution that we have for interworking does not require a Catalyst console, but by looking at the console user interface, you can best understand what's going on over the hood. And so let me just walk you through what we've got here on this console user interface so you can understand what we're connecting together.
And just one thing, is this something that can actually, can people literally take this stuff anywhere like you have in this case?
Yes. So we've built this for these kinds of demonstrations.
Okay.
Oftentimes our solutions are mounted in a rack in the radio room or distributed really across different geographies to provide solutions for public safety and others. But in this case, what you see here in terms of this console, this is a commercially available console. I've just packed everything into a Pelican case so I could bring it to San Diego more easily.
Sure.
So what you see here on the left side of the screen, these two rectangles, each one of these controls a radio resource on the LMR side. So in this case, it's a donor radio, and just below the console screen, you'll see a P25 mobile radio. This is a multi-band radio from Harris that does not only P25, but other protocols as well. So I've got two radio resources here for LMR. And then on the right side, I have three rectangles that are LTE, mission critical push to talk. And I'm showing those using the Southern Link system that is owned by Southern Company. So in this case, each one of these first two are a dedicated talk group, an MCPTT talk group, and the third one is a resource for making individual or private calls directly from one to another. To create interworking, it's very simple. We've got a number of different ways to do that. The simplest way is with a one-button press. When I press that, you'll see that group one on the LTE side has connected to the other side, and I think I have minimized that window, so excuse me for doing that. But what you saw there is I've connected the LTE group and the LMR group so that when a call comes in on one system, it goes back out on the other. This solution allows simultaneous patches to go on. So I've got an ad hoc patch over here that I can build with whatever talk groups and channels I want. In this case, I've got LTE group 2 connected over to EMS. And so you'll see simultaneously, even though I only have one connection back out to the carrier, that I've got multiple talk groups supported all at the same time. And I've got the same thing going on with individual calls. If I wanted to make an individual call out to Todd, I can do that at the same time that I've got all this group traffic going on. Here I've got a window that a supervisor would have that can see all of these patches going on at one time, and that would allow a supervisor to come in and enable any patch, or better yet, to disable a patch that administrator thought should not be up at that time. We believe in allowing the public safety officials to have full control of their communications, and if they want to delegate that down to a dispatcher, the dispatcher can automatically create and tear down those patches, but still provide oversight to a supervisor who can see all of the patches that are up and manage those as needed.
Okay, and so in terms of you've got a P25 donor radio here. Do I need to have an LTE donor, so to speak, or is that done? How's that done?
Yeah, so in this case, we are connected using a cradle point router across an LTE network back to the server. I've got a diagram here that you can insert if you like, showing how that all comes together. But it's not a donor phone or donor radio. It's connected as a wireline interface to the MCPTT server that the carrier or private LTE system has.
Okay, and then in terms of what technologies you guys are using, there's a lot of talk out there about interworking with 3GPP. What kind of standards do you guys use?
Yes, so the third generation partnership project that has created all the standards for LTE created back in release 12, and that's about 5 years ago, a client interface. That's the same way that a cell phone, a smartphone, talks into the MCPTT system. That's what we're using to connect, and that's a very mature interface, and one, frankly, that the carriers have to maintain working well and working simply. More recently, in release 16 of the third generation partnership project standards, the interworking function was defined. So that is very new, and companies are just beginning to work with that, and we predict it will be some time before the carriers make that fully available to public safety. We also predict that will be a more complex interface to manage. We believe that this client interface is much simpler to manage, but yet provides the essential functionality that public safety needs for interworking.
Okay, and then I know you've got it out here for demo purposes and everything, but do you have this solution working in real world situations?
We do. We have deployed it as pilot systems and are getting some great feedback with that, and are taking orders, if you will, for systems.
All right. And in terms of, I guess, well, first off, I know you put everything together for travel ease and things like that.
Yes.
But are there deployable versions of what you've got? Is that going to be something that's going to be available in the market that's, I could take out to a wildfire central command or something like that?
Yes, we anticipate that we'll need deployable units similar to this, and we see different size systems, scaled systems, in terms of particularly the number of donor radios that you might need. We also support the wireline interfaces, P25 CSSI directly into the infrastructure, or the P25 digital fixed station interface, which connects to a conventional P25 or analog system. So all of those are available.
Okay. And when do you see this being commercially available, where public safety can really take advantage of it?
Yeah, I think as we move through this year, 2022, we'll see more and more agencies actually deploying it and using it in an operational standpoint versus a very limited pilot situation.
Okay, so it's available now, is what you're saying, but it's just a question of whether people feel comfortable with it.
It is available now using the Southern Link system.
Okay.
We're currently working with AT&T and others to get certification for their networks as well.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations. This looks fantastic, and I know you've worked so much with DHS and now with PSCR. Congratulations on getting to this stage.
We've got a great team, and that includes DHS and PSCR. We appreciate their support and are excited about how we can better serve public safety.
All right, thanks so much, Robin.
Thank you.